in this video, we will be discussing about chains, branches, and rings. Previously, we saw the carbon compounds methane, ethane, and propane, which are having 1, 2, 3 carbon atoms respectively. So, methane has 1 carbon atom, ethane has 2 carbon atoms, and propane has 3 carbon atoms. So, if you look at the chart given here, methane means the one which has a formula CH4, that is, it has a single carbon. While when you say eth or ethane, it means it has 2 carbons. And you know how to draw the structures. As we discussed in the previous video, we will have to actually satisfy the valency of each carbon. Now, propane, it has 3 carbons. So these 3 carbons will be satisfied by 8 hydrogens. Now it is butane. When the word but comes, it means there are 4 carbons. And when it's pent or pentane, it is 5 carbons. C5 and satisfied with 12 hydrogens. Now next it is hexane, which is hex, which is 6 carbons. So initially, look at the prefix of these words. Meth, which says there is a single carbon. Eth, which means there are 2 carbons. Prop means 3 carbons. But means 4 carbons. Pent means 5 carbons. Hex means 6 carbons. And the number of hydrogens will automatically vary depending on the satisfaction of valency of these carbons. Based on this, let's draw the structure of butane. So we know what butane is. So butane is a carbon compound having 4 carbons. So when we draw, first step number 1, bring all the carbons together. But now we can see 2 different structures. Here all the carbons are attached in a straight chain. But here 2 carbons are attached in a line while the other 2 are attached as branches. You can see in this picture. So now after this you will have to satisfy the valency of carbon by adding hydrogens. How can you do that? So this carbon will have 3 hydrogens as it has 3 more to satisfy its valency. This carbon will also have 3 hydrogens because it has 3 more to satisfy its valency, while the other 2 carbons in between will only have 2 hydrogens each because they are attached to carbons on either sides. So this is how you will satisfy. The same here. So this carbon will have 1, 2, 3 hydrogens. And this carbon will just have 1 hydrogen. Why? Because it is attached with this carbon, this carbon, this carbon. So already 3 fulfilled. So the remaining 1, it will be here. Hydrogen will be attached. Now these carbons are left. So these carbons are attached to just 1 carbon. So 3 places are free here. The same with this. The 3 places are free. That is, it has 3 more options. That is, 3 hydrogens can come and attach with this carbon and 3 more hydrogens can come and attach with this carbon to satisfy the valency of carbon. So now you can see what a wonder. This formula is the same for both the structures. But see, both the structures look very different. This is like a branched one, but this is a straight one, neat and clean. So compounds having similar chemical formula but different structure are called structural isomers. So both these 2 compounds, they are different. The structure is different, but chemically they are same because the formula is C4H10 for both these compounds. So when the chemical formula is same but the structure differs, then those particular structures are called structural isomers. Now draw the structure of cyclohexane C6H12. So now, as the name suggests, it is cyclohexane. Hex means 6 carbons. Cyclo means it is arranged in the form of a cycle or a ring. So when we draw the structure, first bring all the carbons together. So it is in the form of a cycle. Now you will have to satisfy the valency of all the carbons with hydrogens. So now every carbon here is attached with two other carbons. So every carbon will have two hydrogens to satisfy its valency. So see, every carbon is having two hydrogens. This carbon has two, this carbon has two, this carbon has two, this two, this two, and this carbon also has two. Since there are 6 carbons, 6 into 2, there are 12 hydrogens. So the formula is satisfied. Now let us look at another structure called C6H6. So how does that look like? And that is called benzene. See, this is C6H6. So the number of hydrogens here are not 12, they are reduced to 6. So what might be the reason? Nothing, it is simple. In this cyclic structure, you can see alternating double bonds. Double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond. This is also a hexane with alternating double bonds. You can see that. So now since the carbon has one carbon attached with single bond and one carbon attached with double bond, every carbon will just have one more hydrogen to get attached with it to satisfy the valency. So 6 carbons will have 6 hydrogens to get attached. So this with one, this with one, this with one, this with one hydrogen, this with one hydrogen, and this with one hydrogen. So 6 carbons and 6 hydrogens because there is alternative double bond. So all the compounds containing just carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons because they just have carbon and hydrogen in those compounds. Saturated hydrocarbons are called alkanes. We know single bond, if a single bond is present in a compound exclusively, then they are called saturated compounds, and obviously they are very less reactive. And unsaturated hydrocarbons, which contain one or two double bonds, are alkanes. The ones which have one or more triple bonds are called alkynes. So if there is a double bond, then it is called an alkene. If there is a triple bond, we call it as alkyne. So whether it's double or triple, we call them unsaturated hydrocarbons, and they are more reactive when compared to the saturated hydrocarbons. Thank you.